Hello and welcome to another replay cast from the Sakura Spring Championship, the first one from the Fall of the Samurai section. And we're here in a best of three played on Kanto Plains between Stupidboi in the purple banners and Klayton in the familiar yellowish banners. This replay is from the perspective of Stupidboi, but I believe that Klayton has picked this map. And dojo-wise, we do have a sword dojo and an archery dojo, both very important. Archery dojo, obviously, being more important in Fall Samurai than in vanilla. And I will just go over the armies real quick here. As you can already see, lots and lots of line infantry for Stupidboi. Let's have a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's a limit of 10 infantry. So he almost maxed it out in accordance with the rules. And obviously, most of these light infantry units are rather cheap. So he has red bears, black tortoise, red bears, black tortoise, red bear, black tortoise, infanterie de marine on rank 5, and another black tortoise. So he has 4 red bear, 4 black tortoise, and an elite infantry unit. Interesting that he went for the infanterie de marine here because cost efficiency wise, both the US Marine and the Royal Marine is much better. And when it comes to the overall infantry, I quite like this. I think Black Tortoise is an incredibly underrated unit. However, it must be noted here that Stupidboi is playing with a Gunbate general, so he doesn't have a command gen, which means that he might run into morale problems here. My recommendation in terms of the Black Tortoise only goes as far as for command general builds, where I have more experience with. I'm not sure how good they can be with a Gunbate general, but of course, in his own right, it's a very interesting unit, 155 range, and the Gunbate ability, of course, very strong. Positionally, I think he could spread out the red bears a little more. Red bears are relatively tough in melee, so maybe switch out the black tortoise and the red bear so that he has red bears on both flanks instead of a black tortoise over here. But this is only a minor detail. And then calf-wise, we do see Yari calf, revolver calf combination, both vanilla. In the center, another Yariki vanilla and another Yariki revolver calf vanilla combination. So not a lot of investments here, but of course revolver calf can always be very clutch. A spear levy in the center, interesting positioning. Can't hurt to have a spear levy in the setup, but I don't know about the center here. But interestingly, Klayton went almost for the mirror position here. I don't know what it is about spear levy in the center, but maybe we'll find out. I haven't watched this replay yet. Then Klayton does bring less infantry, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, -1. Red bear, white bear. Interesting choice. Shogunate Guard infantry. White bear, red bear, US Marines, which I think is much better than Infanterie de Marine here, and another red bear. Calf-wise, we don't see a lot. Yariki and 2 Yariki vanilla. I assume there's a little bit more hidden, and his general is a very traditional leadership, meaning command general. It might even have naval bombardment. Oh no, actually I'm not sure because it does have gun enabled. But it still gives them increased army morale, which is very important, I think. And yeah, just go to at least slow speed here to watch this progress positioning wise. Usually you see players focus either of these 2 forests, depending on where you find the more important dojo. But I think both players going for both dojos here is a good choice. You don't want either of these to fall into your opponent's hands. which makes this positionally much more interesting than most battles on Kanto planes, I feel, because they can be quite one-dimensional when you only focus on one of the forests. Let's see. I'm still curious whether we are going to see more infantry from more cavalry from Klayton. He obviously has a bit more investments in the infantry, some more bear infantry units instead of black torches, and another shogunate guard in the center. But I still think there's a little bit missing here. But interestingly, both players do have the forest advantage on one flank, which gives a very good protection. But overall, this looks like a rather slow position phase, almost like a battle in from Napoleon Total War. Very slight skirmish here. White bear against black torches. These super small skirmishes are usually decided by the overall position and the angle. And the angle here is favorable to Klayton. But of course, this engagement here is much more interesting. Nice volley by Klayton's US Marines. Perhaps they advanced while being hidden. So I got a free volley on these black torches. No reaction as of yet. Also no return fire from the Infanterie de Marine, which makes me believe that they were probably hidden. And now I think it's a little bit too late to return fire here. Obviously, these US Marines with the forest protection do have a big gain on the Infanterie de Marine in a direct firefight. But again, this was one volley, also still relatively minor, I think. But one thing that Klayton has to keep in mind here is that in the center he does have the guard unit, and I don't think that the most important engagement is going to happen in the center. So he has to perhaps keep in mind or be mindful of how he's gonna get the most out of this unit, because it's not really helping that much. And in the end, it can sometimes be too late for a guard unit to have a meaningful impact. And interestingly, I don't know why Stupidboi doesn't challenge here, but the archery dojo went into the hands of Klayton, which is a huge bonus here. You can see all these buffed stats for the even regular line infantry units, 60 reload, white bear. That's probably almost reaching the natural limit for that type. Red bears with 55. And when it comes to the sword dojo, Klayton doing a very good job here denying it, even winning the small skirmish. So I think this is a bit of an oversight when it comes to in terms of Stupidboi's perspective here. But I think now we'll see a little bit more action. I'm not sure that this engagement here is actually necessary from Klayton's perspective. I think this black tortoise was routing nonetheless, and things were going quite well, especially over here. But it does look like there was a little bit of an exchange of fire between the Infanterie de Marine and the US Marines. And Infanterie de Marine coming out the better. I wonder if they got the first volley. And here I made a little cut because I was interrupted for a moment, but I think I found the right spot to restart this replay. So that gave me the opportunity to check this, and indeed the Infanterie de Marine really did get a really good trade out of the US Marines. So nicely microed here for Stupidboi. And in the meantime, we even saw some of the missing cavalry that has now emerged in the form of two revolver calves sitting right next to each other, both being charged here by Yarki. Two revolver calves supporting each other can be super strong, but right here we also see what can happen in the negative sense. So two Yarikis charging in, both got targeted by one Yariki got targeted by both revolvers, meaning that one of the revolvers got frontally charged by a full-strength Yari key. And even the other, interestingly, made it into combat, which I didn't expect. So this is kind of a high risk, high reward type of thing to play with two revolver calves in the same unit group. But I think here this isn't going too well for Klayton. Overall, on the other side, this cavalry push by Klayton, which has now been defended by Stupidboi's Yariki, did enable the spear levy to push forward with a little bit of terrain protection, but nicely intercepted by Stupidboi's spear levy. This is kind of interesting. Spear levy versus spear levy, neither really having an impact here. Neither unit either supporting the calf fight or supporting a guard unit. They're just sort of there, but not being really helpful or necessary. But overall, this is still a very balanced game. Even though we've already had a lot of engagements, I think calf-wise, this is going very well for Stupidboi. He's killed a lot of Klayton's cavalry, but I think in terms of the infantry engagements, he does have to be careful because still over time this archery dojo will have a decent effect. But let's see what happens to Klayton's US Marine. It looks like he turned it around to kill off the Yariki, which might come back to bite him in the ass, because these revolvers are going to just finish off these US Marines like it's nothing. Support fire from the infantry, the Marine, not even being necessary here. So this US Marine is going to die, and then Stupidboi will have a very useful advantage with an almost full strength 150 guard unit remaining on the battlefield. And I just go to normal speed again. And over on the other side, I think this engagement wasn't that interesting. I think this was just two bear infantry units versus two bear infantry units, both in the forest. Yeah, quite an even engagement here, nothing special to comment on. But as I noted earlier, now Klayton is in a spot where, I mean, things aren't looking great. And this Shogunate Guard infantry still has not played a major role, because I think it was positioned in a rather non-productive way. I mean, in Fall of the Samurai, most of the action is happening on the flanks, and that's where your strongest units should be, and they should not be holding area. If you just need to cover a certain section of the ground of the map, then you might as well use a Black Tortoise or a Red Bear for that. I think this Shogunate Guard infantry could have had much more of an impact, perhaps supporting this forest fight, or I mean, here you already had a guard and he kind of messed up the calf fight. That was more of the problem, but here this Shogunate Guard infantry could have a huge impact, and now it's going to rack up a lot of kills in the end here, but none of them are going to be too meaningful, I think. And yeah, I think this is pretty much over now. Not fully. I mean, Stupidboi would have to make some really bad mistakes here to throw this, but yeah, I think you get what I mean. I haven't noticed actually at which point Stupidboi used Ganbate. He popped it right now, but I don't think he used it before, which is also kind of, I mean, now it worked out for him, but if he pops Ganbate during this engagement over here, especially when his calf charged into the revolvers, which was kind of the crunch moment, I mean, that was kind of the move that won Stupidboi the game here. Supporting that with Ganbate would have been even better, but yeah, that's just a minor detail. Overall, very, very good game. Quite enjoyed it. I don't think I've watched Stupidboi play V.O.D for Samurai before, so yeah, kind of a big name to take out in the first battle, beating Klayton. And yeah, rather interesting and overall quite skillful display, I would say. Red Bear, Infantry, the Marine. I mean, I was kind of criticizing this choice, but that's more in terms of like cost efficiency, because you can get the same output in terms of the firing ability out of US Marines and Coldstream Guards, which are much cheaper. So yeah, you could save a little bit of money here. That's why you rarely see Infantry the Marine in competitive matches. But maybe there's another reason why he didn't want to use the other two units. Maybe he wanted to save them for battle number 2. There might be some reasons unbeknownst to me. Yeah, the rest is Rover Cavs, only 6 kills. I don't know what happened there, to be honest, but seems like it didn't have too much of a negative effect. And yeah, these US Marines, only 71 kills. I mean, that can happen sometimes. He did get a really good volley right in the beginning when he creeped up in the forest, but after that, I think he got a little bit out-microed by Stupidboi. There was some nice targeting by the Infantry Marine. And then once the Cav fight was lost, the US Marines was kind of without flanking support, which was its doom. Can sometimes happen, even to the best players, but yeah, I think these two Revolver Cavs were kind of the turning point. They got killed by 2 Yarikis, which was a devastating blow to Klayton's flank. Yeah, so very exciting first battle. I haven't seen the rest, so I'm very excited for the second one, and I'll make a cut here and see you there. And here we're back on Rice Fields, which this time around I believe was picked by Stupidboi in accordance with the brackets. And here we do have, first of all, a fully functioning set of dojos, which is nice to see. A sword dojo, a farmhouse, and a shrine. So most important ones being on either flank. So some decisions to be made surely here. And I'll go over Stupidboi's army again. First, Black Bear Infantry on the right, rank 9. Very interesting choice, and also very interesting positioning to put it on the very right flank. Black Tortoise, Red Bear, Shogunate Guard Infantry, Red Bear. Again, very similar topic to battle number 1, but I don't agree with the spread of these units. And he basically has a low morale flank on the right. Then he has a tough melee side, or a center with tough melee units supported by a Shogunate Guard. And all this in combination with the Gunbatei General. I think these Red Bears and also this Shogunate Guard, they belong more to either the left side or the right side. Cavalry-wise, Revolver to Yariki, very strong Cav, at least quantity-wise, but neither of these units have any upgrades. Then for Klayton, let's see, looks like he has a little bit more infantry this time. Black Tortoise, Red Bear, Imperial Infantry, rank 9. Interesting. So much stronger in head-to-head than the Black Bear, rank 9. Red Bear, Royal Marines, so second 150 in the center. White Bear, Red Bear, Black Tortoise. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this could be improved, this position, the structure. But overall, I think not an uncommon choice to go for 2 150s here. And most importantly, I think here is the positioning of the 150s. So this little forest patch right next to the shrine is one of the most important positions, I think, on the map. Whoever gets into this area first has a big advantage, in my experience. Then Cav-wise, Yariki, a Revolver Cav, 2 more Yariki here. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a second Revolver hidden somewhere. But yeah. So already it looks like Stupidboi is going to be a bit more reserved on his left, which means that Klayton is going to grab the Sword Dojo. But I'm not sure that being the more passive player is going to work out for Stupidboi here, because again, he is outranged by two 150 units, one of which is getting a rather nice first volley on these Black Tortoise. But I mean, I haven't seen this replay before, but I can already sense what's happening. I mean, this looks like a disaster waiting to happen. This Black Bear on the outer flank, because they can just get overwhelmed here by Klayton. And if these Red Bears move into this tiny forest here, they can even get really nice protection. And if Stupidboi doesn't kite efficiently, these Black Bear are done for. And all the while, these Imperial Infantry are already firing away. These Royal Marines are going to start firing soon. They do get the first volley, but Stupidboi gets into the forest, which I think is a fair deal. But I don't see an adequate reaction here from Stupidboi to strengthen his right side. I mean, his left side is already very passive. They're kind of in a holding pattern. And at this, you can't be passive on the other side as well. I think we need to see a little bit more action here. Black Bear's already in an awkward angle, so they're kind of turned away from the unit they're fighting at. They're firing at. Gun Bate has been popped now by Stupidboi's general, who already took a lot of damage from stray bullets. And I mean, the power bar is devastating, and so is the development of the flank here. But this looks rather one-sided. Stupidboi, through the positioning of the Black Tortoise, manages to decap the shrine. And Klayton forgot, I think, to go for the sword dojo here. But this looks like it's bordering on impossibility to rescue this battle. Just a nice overwhelming maneuver by Klayton, some overloading of cheap infantry on the side where Stupidboi only had a 150 and not even a marine unit. And that was kind of the domino that got it rolling. I think this is just a recognition that he lost. This is a suicide charge to save some time. But yeah, I think this was not only a better build from Klayton, but also superior approach in terms of the flanking. So yeah, very different from the first one. A very quick battle, and yeah, simple mistakes that have a huge made a huge difference on the outcome. Yeah, not gonna spend a huge time talking about this. Let's just hop straight into the tiebreaker match. And the tiebreaker is being played on Crossroads, where we find a workshop on the upper side, a very important shrine in the center, and this even more important, I think, sword dojo on the bottom side. So very interesting dojo distribution once again. I think in all three battles so far we've had optimal dojo distributions to make the gameplay a little bit more exciting and to force the players to make decisions. I will go over Stupidboi's army first. Once again, he opted to go for a Marine on the very flank, or a 150 range unit on the very flank, which is much more doable here than it is on Rice Fields. So it's an infantry, the Marine, which we've seen in Battle 1, next to a Red Bear 2 actually. Then in the center we have an Azure Dragon Force, which is an interesting choice with a Black Tortoise, another Black Tortoise, a Shogunate Guard Infantry, and 2 more Red Bears. So the reason he went for the Azure Dragon Force is because he already maxed out the maximum allowed number of Red Bears, which is 4. And Azure Dragon Force is basically the same in terms of its firing abilities, but with worse melee stats and slightly more expensive. So that's basically the only reason why anyone would still use this unit. Is when another red bear isn't an option according to the rules. Then, in terms of oh, this is interesting. Cavalry-wise, he has a carbine cav. Why you take a carbine cav on Crossroads, I don't know. This seems like a suboptimal map for it. Then he has a Yariki, two Yariki, two carbine cav, so even doubled down on it, and an unchanged gun battery general. For Klayton, we also have an unchanged command gen. Red bears, two red bears with a US Marine on the right side, so we have 150 battle over the workshop. And we have white bear facing up the red bear. In the center, he's a bit weaker on line, but I mean, look at the terrain here. You don't really need line here. So I think this is a good decision to only have one unit in the form of a white bear. And then on the left side, where he's a bit outclassed by this Shogun Guard infantry, he has two black torches and a red bear, so a very weak flank for Klayton. And his cav force consists of two Yariki, two revolvers, one saber cav, all vanilla. So both players seem to be quite similar in the approach of not taking any vetted cavalry, which has become more and more uncommon, I think, in high-level play. And I assume that, judging from experience, we'll see most of the action around this area next to the workshop, because it's quite easy to initiate contact here, especially on this side, where there's a rather flat line of sight, and here you might get a few shots in here and there. But I'm still failing to imagine where these carbine cav are going to have an impact, because this is more suitable for bow cavalry, I think, which is a very strong choice on this map, because you can just fire basically everywhere, and the chance for the opponent to get a return shot in is very small. Positionally, Klayton being very defensive here, going for the sword dojo, which Stupidboi isn't contesting here. Now he is. Okay, I'll take that back. But given that this is the area where Stupidboi has a big advantage, I think this is also where the pressure needs to be applied. And here, Stupidboi really needs to play time, fall back, maybe even give up the workshop. I mean, it's the least important of all the three dojos, and use the forest as a safe haven when he falls back. Some very nice shots here fired by the infantry, the marine, but nothing major has happened yet, so I'll go to normal speed. No reaction from Klayton. Now he noticed it, but yeah, no drama here. Again, these two units are not going to be busy. That's my prediction. This black tortoise here could have a nice path forward to attack this red bear, so this is actually quite a smart position. But these two, less so. But now Klayton also moved the Shogun Guard infantry in the center, where I thought he was just going to be content placing a white bear here, which I liked, but now I like this less so than in the beginning. I don't think this is an improvement. It seems like Klayton wants to get back this shrine, which he might be able to do without being fired upon. And he just feels that the Shogun Guard infantry needs to protect this white bear while it's decapping from any cavalry attacks, which I think is understandable. So this is more of a reactive defensive unit, which can fall back up this hill, but it's not going to contribute much here in a proactive sense. Some nice flanking around by Klayton, just using up the space that is available to him, always useful. And getting this US Marine up on a higher ground to gain some initiative. Let's have a look at the minimap. Stupidboi does look more and more cornered in, but there's still a lot of room here to maneuver, and this forest area in the back here is surprisingly flat, which I also didn't know beforehand. I don't think I've ever had really any meaningful skirmishes in here, but it looks quite suitable for some line fights. I think the terrain prevents Stupidboi from getting a nice volley in. So yeah, thus far both players just denying each other the most important dojos, and this workshop firmly in control of Klayton. And here in this very slowly developing battle, you think that the carbine calf would gain some utility to fire a couple of shots here and there, but I don't think they've had any impact thus far. Zero kills on this carbine calf. This one hasn't even tried, also still on 0. And I mean, they don't rack kills. They don't rack up kills that quickly. So at some point, he's gonna have to put them to use if he wants to get the most out of them. But this is also kind of bulled by Klayton. I mean, it looks like he just either doesn't give a fuck about his flank here, or is very nonchalant about being fired in the back. Because this is not really subtle what Stupidboi is planning to do here. Klayton trying to set up a trap, trying to bait this Red Bear infantry over the ridge, and then getting fired upon by the Black Tortoise before he can fire in the back of this unit. Very awkward position. I think Klayton might just... the trap might work, and it does, in the sense that he gets the first volley, but still this he's going to have morale problems here. I mean, this is already on red morale, and it hasn't even been touched yet. And this is funny. The red he goes straight into melee, doesn't even want to fire. And if these red bear get a flanking, okay, they already routed. Never mind. So yeah, you don't get to see that often. Red bear routing a unit in melee without having fired once. Now this is actually an interesting development for Stupidboi, because with a well-timed flanking push from this red bear, he could go 2-on-1 in multiple different scenarios and just roll up this flank, and then Klayton is going to have a big problem. I think both players should think about sending their calf, or at least the general here. I think the first person to send a calf over here is going to have a big advantage. Let's see. Also miss micro from Klayton here. This white bear is a bit too close to the Azure Dragon Force. And now it looks like this red bear, they shuffled around a bit, so there was a little bit of a bug. So they're also on the verge of routing. And yeah, now Stupidboi using the aforementioned path to flank this red bear. This is a very nice line of sight over here. But Klayton is first in terms of cavalry support. Let's see if this saber calf does get fired upon before it connects. But the line of sight is a bit awkward, so maybe they will connect unharmed. Ooh, last minute volley. So this saber calf might not be efficient in the end. Second line infantry for Klayton routed off. Now this is, I think, just about a clean finish from Stupidboi, just following up on the advantage that he has gained. Easier said than done. One of Klayton's line infantry came back and now has the forest protection. And now this could turn around quite quickly. And at this point, players also always have to make a decision. Do they reinforce this flank, or just try to get the most out of it while pushing the advantage on the other side? Klayton seems to opt for option 1, trying to regain an advantage. So not much movement over here. And theoretically, Stupidboi here even has the cavalry advantage now. But he can't really use it because Klayton is quite well set up here. And in return, Klayton now has a very big calf advantage in around the left side of the shrine, and this battle turned around completely. And I think the big contributing factor here is the general. Command General just boosting the stability of some of these cheaper units, enabling them to come back. And yeah, I mean, now Klayton might even get the Sword Dojo back from Stupidboi, which he just decapped. But still very even game, because this was a very costly engagement for Klayton too. But operationally, I still think this the discrepancy between having 2 Revolver calves in the Sepa versus 2 Carabine calves is going to be a big difference maker here, because now both Revolver calves are coming into position, getting very clean shots. Carabine versus Revolvers, obviously not going to go too well for Stupidboi. Ooh. Decimated the Carbine calf with a volley in the back, only on 11 kills. And now, I don't know if they have enough ammunition, but they might even kill off the Shogunate Guard, which would be a huge disaster for Stupidboi. Only on 1 kill, they haven't really contributed anything, and getting killed by the Revolvers, even the General coming in now with gun enabled. That's gonna be the finishing blow, I think. And this is a masterful example of how impactful Revolver calf can be. Things were looking really bleak for Klayton, and then 2 Revolver calves coming in around the shrine and basically reversing the flanking maneuvers of Stupidboi by rolling him up himself. And now I think the advantage is too big in Klayton's favor for Stupidboi to have any realistic chance of fighting back here. So yeah, we do seem to have a battle where, for once, the 150s didn't really have an impact. Both of these units. I mean, there seems to be 63 kills, a couple lost here. Seems to be a couple of volleys that were being fired, but nothing decisive. And wow, in the end, it looks kind of decisive. But it was anything but while it was evolving. I think this could have gone both ways very easily. And in the end, I think, and this is the superior builds of Klayton that makes the difference here. I actually like the approach that Stupidboi took, but he didn't have the units to pull it off. And also probably didn't have the general to pull it off. I think with a command gen, he could have been much more resilient here. But yeah, I'm very impressed by the series. So this, of course, means that Klayton edges it out with a 2-1 victory in this best of 3, meaning Stupidboi will go to the lower bracket and Klayton will advance to round 2. We'll have to see who his opponent is going to be. I don't think that's. I don't think we know that yet. And yeah, I think it goes without saying, a combined 500 kills for Klayton's Revolver calf. That's a game winner. And let's look at Stupidboi's Carbine calf just for the contrast. A combined 40 kills. Yeah. 500 versus 40. I think that's all said and done. Very, very cool games. Obviously, game 2 was decided rather quickly, but I still enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And yeah, I'll just see you on the next Battlecast. I'll probably do Vanilla next again, and then just do it, and then just rotate a bit, so that I have one Vanilla game, one 4th of Samurai game, and so forth, to have a little bit of a mix. But either way, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.